Hey guys, what's up? It's IceCat79 here, and I promised, well, I didn't promise, but I said that I would make a video about this loop software that I've been using called Music Maker Jam. It's pretty fun to mess around with. You can make like your own loops from instruments and stuff, and downloaded music styles that you choose from within the app. It's a lot of fun to mess with, and I just wanted to do a quick how-to video. The last one I did, I was about 30 minutes in, and the last 10 minutes I went up to use the bathroom and put the screen on a break, kind of like the one you're seeing now, and I came back and forgot to take it off, so the last 10 minutes didn't even show, so I had to re-record it. So I'm going to try and make this not 45 minutes long and try and go quick and just go over the basics and not get too technical with it, and hope you guys like it. So let's get right into it. When you download the program, you're going to find this in the Windows Store, or they have a Google Play for your mobile as well, for an app, but it's called Music Maker Jam. Completely free to use. Once you install it and bring it up, what you're going to see is you're going to see the music styles. You won't have this many, as many as what I have. You'll have these four right here. This dubstep one will be one that you can't really ever get rid of or trade out. It's just there, so you'll have 3 free music slots here. And over here you'll see all your music styles. These are not all that you have. If you click on all new music styles, you can see there's 79 different styles, but if we change our search settings, you can see up here that you can search, sort it by beats per minutes. You can select which BPM you would like. You can select the genre that you would like to use. So let me take these off, and I'll show you that there are tons and tons of different styles. All of these, and we'll just sort by alphabetical. And as you can see, there's 248 different styles to choose from. The kicker with this app, because it is a free app, you're only allowed 3 music styles, I guess you could say, to use. You have 30 days. Well, you get 30 days for each music style, and then after 30 days, after 30 days, you can then switch out your music styles. There is a trick which I'll give at the end of the video that you can kind of avoid this if you pick some styles you don't like. One of the big things that you're going to want to kind of pay attention to when you're picking music styles, first of all, is on each of these styles, you don't have to buy them. If you just click on the 70s funk, you can hit the free button. That'll go into any free slots that you have. If you want to buy them, you can. You don't necessarily have to. But the thing that you really want to pay attention to right here is the number of loops that are in it. Obviously, the more loops, the more fun you're going to have being able to mess around with different instruments and that sort of thing. Also, vocals take up a lot of loops. Vocals take up a lot, so if you find one without vocals, it's going to be a little bit better, and vocals are, they're hit or miss. One thing that you also want to be aware of is just because it says 395 loops does not mean it has 395 different settings, different instruments to choose from. Basically, when you go into this program, you have, obviously like the key of C, the key of D, the key of E, the key of F, A sharp, that sort of thing. Basically, each loop has its own key, so that adds up to quite a bit. So you're not going to get 395 loops. You're going to get maybe 50, maybe 100, depending upon how many loops there are. The other thing you want to pay attention to is your beats per minute. Obviously, genres with the same beats per minute are going to let's see, sorted by beats per minute. They're going to play well together. So this trap and this smooth piano, those will probably play well together if you choose those. You can choose something different that has different beats per minute, and you can affect it a little bit. But I do find that it's easier if they're all the same beats per minute. Or if you want to have them different beats per minute, you can play around with it and see what plays nice together. But not all of them will. Sometimes it'll sound crappy. But pick whatever you want. Do some random ones. Each one of these has definitely enough that you can make a couple different sounding loops, different combinations. And you can also mix and match your instruments and your loops once you're in the program. So you can take something from ambient, you can take something from modern roots, put them all together in one loop and just kind of mix and match it that way. So that's kind of nice too. So basically you can always pick your genre if you want. If you want to go ethnic and hip hop, you can just choose that. So you can mess around with that a bit. So if you hit this back button, we're going to go back to our styles here. The other stuff we'll cover in just a little while. For now, let's just say that we selected, I'm going to select this Hip Hop Thug Life one. These styles that I have, you're always going to have the dubstep, and then as you can see, the free are the ones that I have selected for my, my 3 free slots. The reason that I have these other ones is because this one was absolutely free. It was free for me to download. I had to use the almost like I was buying it. I had to put it in my cart, but it was $0. It was free, so I did that. And then these holiday ones, usually those will have on the little styles it'll say add this for free or activate for free, something like that. So you can do that. Obviously there's not the greatest beats in here, and they're Valentine's Day, Christmas, Halloween, Christmas. This one's just a free one, I guess, but they're nice to have. You can mix and match them, and I'll show you how to do that. So that's basically this main page. To get started, you just pick a style. So we'll go with this, and you can see right away kind of that it plays right away. You can just hit this play pause button. So we'll just kind of go over the basics of the interface first, and then we'll kind of get into the nitty-gritty details here. You have your play pause button. This button is to select the how you want a loop to repeat. So basically these over here are your loops. So you have intro, you have beat A, you have your verse, that sort of thing. So with this one, and we'll just kind of show you how this repeat button works. Right now, if I were to hit play, it would play through all of these, and once it hits the end, it will stop. It won't play again. It won't loop back and keep repeating this whole section. If you do this one, it is just going to repeat this over and over, this loop over and over, over and over. If you hit this and it has it highlighted, it's going to go through this loop, and once it hits the end, it starts back at the beginning. So it's like a big long loop. So there's different ways to loop the beats. I find it particularly nice to have that one, because then you can just loop this beat back and forth, and if you want, you can start it off with just drums. Once it gets to the end, you can add in the bass, and if you're quicker on the draw, then it'll sound a little bit better. And then add in the piano. Then let's say you get to the middle, we'll add some vocals. So as you can see, it's looping back and forth on that beat, which is nice. And you just saw me add things in. Obviously, if it's highlighted in yellow, that means it's on. If it's not, it's off. A couple of things over here on this side. You have your record button. As soon as you hit record, it will start playing from the beginning. And yes, it will. If this is locked on 1, it's just going to keep playing this over and over and over and over. So if you want it to go all the way through, obviously change this before you're recording. And you can change this while it is recording. So if you have it go from here to here and you want to play this loop a couple times, you just hit that over to the 1 and it'll be good. You do something like that, so it's going to play here, do-do-do, play here, do-do-do. And then once it gets to here, I would hit this button and it would just keep repeating this loop. And then to get out of that, then I would hit this button or this button, depending if I wanted to stop here or loop around again. So you can do that live, which makes it a lot of fun to mess around with your instruments and add or subtract instruments. In your recording button, once the loop, you can either hit this to stop it, or you can have it go all the way to the end if it's on this type of a loop where it stops at the very end, and then it'll automatically ask you to save your file, which we'll show you in a second. The other thing that you have is your harmony editor, so you can actually change the keys of the items that you're playing. So let's loop this one over and over, and right now we're in the key of G. Let's turn these up a bit. These are your volume buttons for each instrument. So if we change it to C, it's going to change. And as you can hear, the vocals were actually changing as well, depending upon what you put it in. So if we go A, so the key changes and the vocals will change if you have vocals. Not all the time, but sometimes they will. So that's your harmony editor, or you can have it auto-harmonize however you like. I like to mess around with the harmonies to change that on different loops. And each loop can have its own harmony, so we can put this one at C, and we can put this one at G, and you can go from C to G to C to G if you want to have it kind of vary so it's not all the same key. You can get a little bit creative with that. So that's the harmony button. Over here you have your beats per minute. You can slide this up or down to change the beats per minute on the song. So we could start it off super slow, or we could go super fast. And it always shows you where the original is, so you can put it back if you really want to. I don't believe that you can have this be like 75. Yeah, you can't. The whole song has to be fast or slow. This is a button for the master volume, so you can change the volume of the whole thing. This is nice for fading in and out on songs if you want to do that. You can also change the volume of each individual instrument. The loops we'll show you here in just a second. Let's play this one more time. Put this on. You have your effects thing. You can turn this on. And by doing that, you can see that it got muffled. Here it's a little bit more tinny. Let's turn this back up here. And if we go soft, it's more of a softer sound. Or if we go hard, it's definitely a harder sound. You can kind of so you can kind of mess around with that. That's kind of fun to do. The harmony editor, we'll look at that in a second here as well. We're just going to go back to our main instrument panel here. So we kind of explained a little bit up here that each one of these is a different set of instruments. Basically, you can rename, copy, and delete any of these that you want. So since this is a pre-made one, we don't want any, let's say we don't want B here. So what we'd do is we'd just do a right click on it, and obviously you can delete that part, and it's gone. There's no undo. I don't think so. Control. No, there's no undo. So once it's gone, it's gone. So be careful. Let's say that we wanted to copy this little break part here. let's just, oh, you just hit this plus button and it copies that. So whatever one that you're on, it's going to copy that one, and then you can click and drag to move them around if you so desire, which is kind of nice. I want to turn this loop thing off. There it goes. Okay. I just had to make sure it was off. So that's basically this part. You can rename them. Just right click on this, rename, and then just type in whatever you want. And make sure you hit this checkbox button, not this rename down here. It kind of gets confusing. If you hit this, it won't rename your loop. But if you rename, type in something here, and hit this checkbox, it will. And you will hit that rename button. I can guarantee it. I've done it more times than I can tell you. One other thing that you want to be careful with is that if you are working on a song and you have like a couple of these done and completed, and you hit this back button, what it does is you can still click on this, but it resets everything. So you're back at the beginning, which really sucks if you've been working on it for like an hour. One way to combat that is this little hamburger menu that's up here in the corner. Click on that. You have your app commands. And here you can actually save the project. So you can save it as whatever you want. And then your project, you can load a new project, you can save a project, and you can find your projects that you have saved. So let's just save this one. Let's call this ice test, and we're going to save it. Make sure you don't hit these buttons again. Hit this button, and so your item is saved. Now if you want, you can just go into here to app commands and styles and projects, and we can see ice test is right here. We loaded it back up. So make sure you save quite often. The reason why I say you want to be careful with this back button is what I'm going to show you next, is how to load actual instruments into this program. So obviously, as I'm sure you can tell, here's all your instruments. These have nothing in them, so let's load a loop into this. So we just click the plus button, or you can click on the actual name of this, vocals, and here's all your styles here on the side. So like I said, you can mix and match different loops if you wanted to. This one's obviously kind of quiet and dumb. Let's find something good. Let's go with drums. And the reason that sounds really, really quiet is because if we look, the drums we just added is this one, I believe, Bleepy B, and it's really, really quiet. So if we turn it up, turn these off, now it's a little bit louder, so we can actually hear what we got. So that's how you load your instruments. You can always also, we're in the Trap Volume 3 drums right now. We can always change it by clicking and sliding left or right, and you can change the drum styles. So we'll do that quick. So as you can see, you can change the drum styles however you want. I recommend maybe trying to stay within, if it's bleepy, stay within bleepy if you're doing a song. Just because it can sound off kilter when you have everything mixed together. So that's basically how you load a channel, I guess is what they call this. If you want to empty that channel out down here, you just hit empty channel, and you can see that it's gone. And one tip, if you want, you could put 3 instruments in here, and on this one put those same 3 instruments by copying it, and then add another one. That way you don't have to like hit on and off while you're live recording. Or you can not and be a DJ and hit these buttons and make it do weird things, which I'll show you in a bit. Let's see, what else do we want to know? Trying to think off the top of my head here what else we want. Oh, the one thing that you want to be really careful of is doing something like this. So let's add let's go in here. You want to hit this load loop button. Now you can actually hit back, but if you hit back twice by accident, your whole composition is gone if you haven't saved it. So be careful. I've done that more times than I can tell you, and it sucks. So that's basically loading loops. We covered that. A couple things that we didn't cover yet. We covered saving. Well, no, maybe we didn't cover saving. I'm getting confused from the last one, but we'll cover saving again in just a second here. So let's first look at the Harmony editor. Basically what this is it allows you to edit one of these types of harmonies. So let's just say we want to edit these female vocals. We hit the Harmony editor button. And you can hit this play button anytime, whether you're in the loop selection part or here, to kind of start playing the loop. So here we are, and you can see it's at the length is 4, which I'm going to say is 4 bars. I don't know. You can change it to 8, make it go a little bit longer, and you can see the keys that it's in. And if you slide over here, we can continue to watch it, or you can change it to just 1. And you'll notice up here that this changes too. Now if you leave it at just 1 and we say okay, that's good, and we get out of here. Oops, yep, see, don't do that, because guess what, now it's all gone. We have to start all over. Don't do that. If you're in that Harmony editor, hit, I don't know, hold on. Oh, you hit the Harmony editor button again. Duh, that would make sense, right? So you kind of got that. You can mess with the keys. So let's turn this back off, go back to where we were, turn that up. Harmony editor, play that. So we can do something like this. Which makes it sound horrible. That's just an example with vocals. It's kind of hard to hear with vocals. So let's actually select something where it's going to make a change, where we can actually hear the change. Let's try our drums. And you can see how it changes here. Now with the drums, never mind. You can't really change a harmony on drums. I'm being stupid. We wanted this one. There we go. So you can see how it changes. If we changed it to so you can change like different parts of the instruments and keys. If you want to change a piano riff a little bit, you can have it just go all straight like this, and then on the next loop, the same piano riff, you can have it go an octave higher or move it around however you want. So that's kind of fun to play around with. Sometimes it won't sound good, but the nice part is you can hit play. You can go back to you know, here, have your drums, your keys going. And you can actually edit it and hear what the piano sounds like with that playing. So as you can see, you can change different things with it. And then let's just say just for fun, that we wanted to save this, right? We want to save our song. We like where it's at. We don't want to hit this back button by accident. You go back to this hamburger menu, app commands, save project, save it as whatever you want, and then it's saved. And then once you want to find your project back, if you hit Styles and Projects, we'll go back to our Styles and Projects menu, and you slide this over, and right here are all your projects. And then if you save an MP3, once you record, you can save this. Here's all your recordings, so let's kind of go over that quick. Basically, let's just say that we wanted to, we'll just kind of do this. We'll record. Now, obviously this sounds horrible, but we'll just let it go. Well, this part might be cool because it's already pre-made. Okay, let's say that we wanted to save that. We would just name this and hit this check button. So let's name this just that. And you couldn't see it, but on the other screen it showed that I have created a new file for my recording. And then there's a couple different ways that you can get to it. You can go back to the music styles, and if you click on the recording, you can play the recording right from here. You can actually share it. If you click open, it'll I thought that it would open the actual file folder, but it doesn't. So, quick tip, if you want to actually be able to put your MP3 file in a different folder or on an iPod, or do whatever you want with it, send it to someone in the mail on a flash drive. If you go into your file explorer and you can save it, it saves it automatically under Music, Music Maker Jam, Recordings. And if you click on that, then you'll see here's our file, and we can do whatever we want with it. Obviously, if you take it out of this folder, it's not going to show up in your recordings, so just make note of that. Other than that, that's kind of the long and short of it. We'll just kind of dick around here for a second, and I'll show you the ones that I'm currently working on. Let's go back to this Tiger one. I can't remember where I started it off at. This might sound horrible, it's not complete at all, but we'll play it and we'll yeah, see, it changed big time because
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night.
So you can kind of get an idea of what you can do. You can mess around with it and do things on the fly. Get a basic beat, add some instruments, add them in if you want, stop them if you want. This one is by no means complete. It's just like the basic outro. But I want to kind of add on to it a little bit more. Let's do one more here. We'll go with the scary hip hop. This one's kind of neat. So anyway, obviously you get the idea. There was a lot more added to this last night, but I accidentally hit the stupid back button, and this is where my save was left at. And it sucks because it was awesome. It had like vocals and everything, like a dude being like, "Shut the door," and then like a growl and screams, and yeah, it's pretty sweet. And obviously you can see that I added, like, this is from hip hop style, this is from my Halloween style. There might have been one from Christmas style with the bells. I don't remember, but anyway, that's about it for right now. Once I actually get like a decent beat down, it'll I'll do a live stream for it. One thing that I just did want to point out, the reason why I played that little intro, that jazzy smooth intro at the start, is because I actually made that loop using this program. It's the intro music that I have for right now. It's going to eventually become music that happens when I take a break. So if I like go on a break like this, I can actually do this and play this song automatically. And since this is going to be my outro song, I'll just say my goodbyes right now, and wish you all a good evening and have fun playing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, let me know. Peace out.